channel. There's a sort of gameplay system called Back Chatter, which encourages people to think about the questions and answers the discussions that might take place in each conference panel, and it becomes like a game. Did you manage to guess the keywords that would be used in that discussion? He also talks about things like Foursquare, the location check-in systems, things like Scavenger, technologies that encourage you not just to sort of say, I am here, but also encourage you, like Wanderlust, to follow a narrative journey throughout that physical environment of your festival or your event. I've not included one of our bloggers because his post goes out in the next round. We've got about 40, 50 odd posts up there at the moment. We're staging how these posts come up. But I just want to acknowledge David Sermon for also having contributed to the collection. And we'll be publishing his posts about social media campaigns next week.
There's just a couple of things I'd quickly say. As Fee mentioned, we had 500,000 impressions of the hashtag in the first 24 hours of launching this research. In the Twitter conversation during the session we trended in Melbourne, I was sitting there thinking, and before we released this research, we were thinking what to call it. I kind of wish we'd written it in rhyming couplets and called it "Go the F Online." We might have gone even further, but it's a pretty interesting response from the community. Some great conversations on Twitter. So Tandy, who I should have introduced earlier, Tandy's part of the Australia Council team and has been part of developing this research. Tandy's will pop up the Twitter feed. I can say there's a little bit of hat envy in the room during the Twitter conversations, as well as some really good comments about the research itself. I guess the thing that I would say is I come from a marketing background and worked for Museum Victoria, so a really large institution, and the kinds of things that I feel that large places grapple with in this kind of field is how to shift a whole organisation's way of working. You know, it tends to be the job of the online person to do this stuff, and how do you start moving into a different way of thinking? And we'll address some of that in the forum tonight. But you know, I think that the research asks some really quite big questions. It also answers some questions, and one of them for me is around word of mouth. Word of mouth used to be in the domain of the pub or the bedroom. It's now capturable and online, and what does that mean for marketers going forward? As you can see, we've got a fairly high level of expertise in terms of what online can